Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for you guys to be here with me today. Today's video is a little bit different. It's not a brand new face video, but I thought it would be fun to sit down with you guys and talk about the products from my previous videos, the current makeup that I have from the $99 and under brand new face videos, and catch you guys up on the products that I'm still holding on to, the ones that I'm still using and still enjoying. So what I've done is I've actually recorded me putting this look together using some of the products, and I'll try to kind of snip and clip a little bit of those in as we go. Yeah, so I wanted to give you guys kind of an update here. I do also want to mention that in some of my brand new face videos, I don't have some of the products anymore that I had said yes to. That doesn't mean that those are bad products. It's just over time I've kind of had to rotate things out. And even though some of those products were really great products, I have chosen to pass them on to other people so that they could enjoy them as well. And I just kind of stuck to these ones. These ones have been ones that I've used for the most part on more of a regular basis. It is kind of hard to wear makeup right now with not having to go very many places during COVID and whatnot. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update. I'm really excited to share these with you, and I hope you guys are excited as well. So let's just get into it and talk about these products. So when creating this look here, the first thing we did is we started out with the eyes and the concealer like we do usually in our brand new face videos. And for concealer, I guess we'll just start in that category first. The first product I used was the Essence Camouflage Matte Concealer. So this guy right here. Now, I believe in my Essence video, I think I kind of said something along the lines of like, I'd have to use this product a couple more times and see what I think. But it is definitely a concealer I find myself reaching for quite often. Something about just like the more natural finish that it provides, I really enjoy. I still don't agree that it says tattoo coverage on here, that it's not as full coverage as that should claim to be, but I do really like the finish of it, and I do like just the way that it sits on my face. So I used this today to prime the eyelids, and I think it did a really good job. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll mix this in with another concealer that I'm going to introduce here now, the e.l.f. This is a 16-hour Camo Concealer. Today I just dotted it underneath the eyes after applying our foundation and used it alone that way just to conceal and brighten, and I really, really like that. But there are occasions where I'll sometimes mix this one because it is so light and so bright. I'll mix it with something like this one so I can pull back that coverage just a little bit. I definitely do like the coverage, but this one can definitely come off very strong. But I've really been enjoying the e.l.f. Camo Concealer here. Love it for brightening. I often use it under the eyes here in the center area of the face just to kind of bring some brightness back to the face. And so these two I've really been enjoying. The other thing I should mention, which I meant to start off previously, is I also recorded, I believe, what is called B-roll. You may have already seen some of it in this video. Of all of the products that I do currently have, I decided to kind of pull 2 or maybe 3 for this video, but that footage will show you actually what I currently have in my collection. And then also with that, Beauty Creations, I don't have any of those products here because that video was sort of recently recorded. All of those products I still have yeses on. They're just not included in that B-roll or here. But if there are any specific ones that like come to mind, I will let you know. Kind of like an honorable mention, I guess. I haven't gotten a lot of time to use those ones yet, but I do have a couple that I could maybe throw out here and there. But I do have one more concealer. The last concealer I pulled here was the Makeup Obsessions Mega Concealer. Now today I use this kind of on these trouble spots that I'm having. It didn't do the best job covering them. These guys are a little bit stubborn. I haven't honestly used this one much as a concealer. Oftentimes I actually use this as a foundation, and if I remember correctly, I think that's what we did. We had purposely purchased 2 of these when we did the video, a more deeper tone as our foundation and something a little bit lighter to conceal. And that's what I've actually been continuing to use this as, is more of a foundation. I really like the softness of the wand and how it glides kind of all over the face. And then when you dab it in, it gives a very matte coverage. And yeah, I've been enjoying these. I haven't gotten as much use out of these versus the other two concealers, but I did kind of want to bring these up again and say they are a great concealer, but honestly, they're a pretty good foundation as well. So I wanted to include these. And then let's go into the eyeshadow palettes. Now, I have so many eyeshadows from doing these videos. I really enjoy eyeshadows. I decided to pull two specific ones for this, but I want to quickly just give like a little shout out to the Makeup Obsessions eyeshadow palette one as well, the green one, the Smoke It Out, I think is what it's called. That palette really got me into enjoying green shadows. I haven't picked that one up too often, but I've come across other palettes that I own currently that have greens, and it's made me encouraged more to use those greens in them. And yeah, that I enjoy that palette, and because of that palette, I've been exploring greens as well. So just a mini little shout out to that guy. But the ones I wanted to mention today was the Amore US. I think I said it wrong in the video the entire way through. I'm pretty sure it's Amore Us. This guy right here. Now, the shades in here are beautiful. The thing about this one is I've really liked using this palette in addition to others. The metallics in here are beautiful, and it's really fun to kind of put a base eye look together and then hop into this guy right here and find that shimmer that you want to pop on top. That's something that I've really enjoyed with this palette when I've used it on a regular basis. In the video, I'm pretty sure we used that smolder shade to kind of smoke out the upper lash line, and man, it is a beautiful pigmented black. And this electric shade right here is a beautiful transition shade. So I very much have been enjoying this palette, specifically in addition to other palettes. And then on the eyes today, we did only stick to one palette, and it is this guy right here, the She Glam Artistry palette. This palette is probably my favorite out of everything, honestly. And it's probably mostly because of this shimmer guy right here, but also just with it, these colors just really speak to me. A lot of them are somewhat similar, but I think that's something I enjoy, that you can do a somewhat similar look, but just change it a little bit, where it's like, ooh, let's do that look that we like with the golds and the reds, but let's make it a little deeper today, and you can kind of get into the deeper shades, or let's lighten it up a little bit and kind of go in the lighter reds and shades like that. So we use this on the eyes today. I'm so happy with how this look turned out, and I've really been enjoying this palette. And then let's hop into the eyeliners. So I grabbed two eyeliners for this video. One that I've been really enjoying is this Believe Beauty one here. Now the one that we got for the video was a brown. And the thing about this liner that I really enjoy is how soft and shadow-like it is. It looks so natural on the eye. It's so easy to use. If you're somebody who wants to play with eyeliners, but you don't like the harsh dark browns, the harsh dark blacks, and the way that it like changes the way that your eye shape looks, I think something like this one, especially the Believe Beauty one, you would really enjoy. Just the softness of it is so beautiful on the eye. So I used that today, and we kind of winged it out just a little bit. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm so happy it's in my collection. And then the other one I wanted to mention is the She Glam dual-ended eyeliner. For today's look, all we did was use the gel pencil side and just do a little bit of waterlining on the lower lash line here, but I have really enjoyed the liquid side here as well. The felt tip applicator has a good structure to it. It's nice and sturdy, where if you are somebody like me who struggles with the wings, this does a pretty good job with helping you guide and get a decent wing created. So I really enjoyed it for that. And the other thing about the pencil on this is, I don't know if this is necessarily waterproof or not, but the times that I've worn this in my waterline, upper and lower, it has not transferred. It has not like bled out on the eyes, and it stays in that waterline for a long time. So just for that pencil, I've had a lot of use out of this, but in addition, that liquid applicator is really nice for precise upper liquid liner as well. So been enjoying that. And then we finished the eyes off using mascara. Now I'm gonna mention this guy here first. This one's probably one of the more newer ones to the collection. This is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. And this one is amazing. I love the effect, the lash effect that it provides and the length that it provides. It is just a little bit messy. Every single time I've used it, I have had to clean up a little bit under the eyes because it is a little bit flaky when applying, but the way that it makes my lashes look is amazing. And I like how it keeps my lashes staying lifted up. It's not the one that we used today. I'm gonna save that one for last. I debated. I kind of like went back and forth between, do I really want to use this because I love the way that it makes my lashes look, or do I want to go to this other OG one that I'll share in just a little bit? But yeah, I really enjoyed this. The next one, I've got 3 mascaras here. I'm gonna mention the Believe Beauty Mascara. Now I use this one on the bottom lashes today, primarily because of the wand that it has. Now this has such a really fun wand where on one side of it, I'll try to show this off for you. The top ones there are a little bit longer. And then when you rotate it over, the bottom ones are a lot shorter. So I really like using those bottom ones up and close on the lower lash line to get those nice and coated. And on the upper lashes, using this to get those nice and coated. I think the wand is really cool. Again, this one provides a decent length for my really tiny lashes, and I've just been getting a lot of use out of this guy. And the one that has probably been one of my most favorite mascaras from these brand new face videos is going to be the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara. Now this one's running out because I've used it so much, so I don't think it really gave the length that it has previously, but I have really, really, really enjoyed this mascara and the holdup that it has. It washes off pretty easily, but it's like all day until you're ready to take it off, it stays on. I don't see it smudging until water gets to it. So if you go out in the rain, it's gonna come off, but like if you're just hanging out at home like we are these days, it's not gonna go anywhere. And I love the easy application that it has and just the way that it makes my eyelashes look. There's just something about it that I just have kept going back to. Again, this one is almost empty and I'm gonna have to pick up another one because I really, really enjoyed it. So this has been amazing. Next, let's go into the face and talk about primers. The first one I'm going to mention here is the e.l.f. Poreless Primer. You'll kind of see that it's a little messy here. I kind of used the lid on it as like a little palette for mixing colors, but this has been really nice. If I recall correctly from my e.l.f. video, I think I was like unsure about it because I'd used it in the past and I wasn't quite happy with how my foundation was sitting on top, but I've used it a little bit more and I've realized that you don't really need a lot. Like I've always thought like maybe you need to scoop in a little bit, warm the product up and then apply it. But honestly, if you just take like 1 or 2 fingers, just rub a little bit in there, get just a little bit on your fingers and apply that, just a thin, thin amount. It works so well. So I've really been enjoying this. Typically I use it in addition to other primers. I found myself using a pore filling primer in addition to something else that I can prime for all over the face. And yeah, I've been getting a lot of use out of the Putty primer. Another primer that I want to mention is the Makeup Obsessions Picture Perfect Primer. A little similar to the Putty primer, I very, very much have been enjoying. I probably get a little bit more use out of this guy than the e.l.f. Putty primer. Just something about the way it's in a tube, you can just squeeze a little bit out is really, really nice. You do have to shake this one up because it does separate a little bit, but I really love the way that it lays on my face, the way that it keeps my pores covered, and the way that foundation sits over top of it. Nothing seems to really slide around, which is very awesome. So this has been staying in my collection and I've been using it so much. And then the last primer I'm going to mention is going to be the Amore Us Face or Perfecting Face Primer. This one also just like, it blew me away. I remember in my video just like, I don't think I had much high expectations for it. It just seemed very basic, simple packaging. I'm like, oh, we've used kind of these like purple primers before and I'm not sure what to think of it. And I just remember putting it on and being like, oh. And like the blurring that it does, something about it, the way that it sits on your face and sinks into your face, I've really, really enjoyed. I'm kind of sad that it's such a small bottle because I feel like I'm going through it so fast. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this one. It says that it neutralizes dullness. I'm not sure what that means, I guess, but it's doing something. And I've really been enjoying putting this in combination to a pore filling primer on my face to get my face ready for foundation. And then let's hop into foundations. The first one I want to mention here is the Believe Beauty Foundation, the Skin Finish Foundation. I've really been impressed with this one, primarily just because of the price point of it. It is a $5 foundation available at dollar stores, and it is, the packaging is amazing. It's glass packaging. The pump on it is spectacular, and it gives really good coverage. And all of that for $5 is just, it's kind of mind-blowing. It's really crazy. The three foundations I have here are probably not like my favorite foundation, but price-wise in comparison to my all-time current favorite foundation, you know, they sit right there, especially this guy. And it's just like, the price is so worth it. I mean, it's $5 and it's an amazing foundation. So I very much have been enjoying the Believe Beauty Foundation. Second one that's honestly pretty similar to that story is the She Glam Complexion Pro Foundation. Again, this one has a beautiful finish on it. And this one is $9. So a little bit more than the Believe Beauty one, but still beautiful packaging, glass container, pump. It's a miracle. It's just the craziest thing. I love finding these affordable brands that have a pump. We didn't use this one today. I had this one and the one that I'm going to mention here next. I kind of like went back and forth as to like, I don't know which one I want to use. I think I originally wanted to use this one, but I decided to use the other one instead. A little bit of this definitely goes a long way, and the matte finish, like it just looks really good on the face. So I very much have been enjoying the She Glam foundation. And lastly, the foundation that we decided to use today was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. And the one that I have is their Dewy one. I decided to use this one, I think, instead of the other one because I've been using this one more frequently. And I remember this was kind of the one that I was enjoying earlier. So these have gotten, honestly, a very even amount of use. And I was like, I should hop back on this one and give it another go. And again, the finish is amazing. The one thing that's a little weird is the spatula and the way that you apply it. It would be so nice if it was a pump or like, I don't know, like a doe foot, like a lot of foundations have been doing, but it just sits on the face so nice. I love the dewy finish. I love the coverage that it has. The one thing I want to quickly mention about this one, and I'm not too sure if it's the foundation or not, I have noticed sometimes when I wear this foundation, I break out just a little bit. Right now, my face is breaking out a little bit more than usual, and that's not because of this, but for some people like me who might be a little sensitive to certain foundations or ingredients and whatnot, maybe just kind of take a look at the bottle and see if there might be anything in there that you might be sensitive to. But even with that, it's been so minimal that I've still continued to use it. This is the one we used today, and I love it. It's amazing. And then let's go ahead and set the face down. So the first powder I want to mention here is the e.l.f. HD powder. I guess the easiest way to explain this powder is there's really nothing special about it. It just does its job. It just sets the face down. It doesn't make things too matte or too dry. It doesn't add any weird shines to the face. You go over it, you definitely feel set down. It just does its job. It's a nice, finely milled powder, a good size compact. It's not too big or anything like that. And it's, yeah, I grab for this one so often just because it is just so simple and it just works. But the ones that we use today are the AOA Studio. And now I don't remember in my video, I think I only used one of these, probably used the original translucent, but I've honestly been enjoying both of them. I had picked up both their kind of brightening one here and also their matte translucent, and I love using these in combination. I'll usually start first with the brightening one, taking a smaller brush, and then just running that underneath the eyes to set the concealer to keep things nice and bright underneath there, and then going in afterwards and setting the rest of the face with the matte translucent powder. Similar to the e.l.f. one, this just kind of does its job. They're kind of similar, packaging and everything. It just sets things down really nicely. You don't feel worried after putting it, like, okay, things feel set, but things don't feel too dry. So it's just been really good. And then again, in addition, the size of these is just so nice. They're nice and tiny. You can really take them anywhere you need to. So these guys have been used so often, and I very much have been enjoying these in my collection. All right, and let's go on to the brows. Yes. So for the brows, the first product I want to mention is the Kleancolor Frameous Lash and Brow Clear Lash Brow Mascara. I've used this stuff so often. I think typically because it's a brow gel, people would most likely put it on after they filled in their brows and use this to set the brows down. I've almost kind of used it in like a soap brow way. I don't know if that's I think that's the correct term. I will actually apply it before filling in my brows to get the hairs to really stick up and be fluffy and kind of in shape so that I can go in and fill after that. I'll give an honorable mention at this time to Beauty Creations is another one that I've actually really been enjoying. Again, I haven't used that one here too much, but I do recall from the video, and I think one other time I've used it here so far, it does a really good job of setting those brows in place, and I just like the crisp feeling when you feel like they're not gonna go anywhere. So Believe Beauty's also been a really good one for that. And then next we're gonna talk about brow pencils. The first one I'm gonna mention here is the SheGlam Skinny Brow Pencil. First off, just these skinnier micro tip pencils are definitely the ones that I prefer. I believe in my extra little footage, there's a couple of wider ones that I included in there, like the LA colors. And I like that one because it's just nice and soft, but honestly, I don't grab for that one too often. But when I want a little more of a subtle, quick, easy brow, that's one that I go for. But SheGlam. This one I've been very much enjoying, mostly just because of the color that it is. It is a very good blonde color, and I've been loving it. It just works so nicely with my natural blonde hair, and so I've just really been enjoying that, and just that it's a micro tip pencil. I just like how the nice and skinny and defined little brow hairs that it creates. So very much have been enjoying this one. I will also quickly give another honorable mention, the Beauty Creations brow pencil as well. That has been another one I've really been enjoying. That one is kind of it's also a micro tip, but they kind of kept the little whole like triangle thing in mind, which is just really cute. And that's one, again, haven't got a lot of use out of it yet, but I have enjoyed it a couple of times I have used it. But the pencil that we use today, and probably the one I do get the most use out of, is the Wet n Wild Ultimate brow pencil here. Now I remember in my video, because this is like a soft brown, I think, and I remembered just being like, oh, that's gonna be dark, and I was worried that on the eyes it looked too dark, and I think like at the time of the video I was like, you know, I don't know if I like the dark brow, but I think just with me changing my hair and stuff, and the more that I've used it, I've really liked this shade as well. I probably, whenever I do run out of this one, will probably pick up the lighter soft blonde or their blonde shade, but maybe also in addition get the darker one as well, because I do actually really enjoy it. But similar to the SheGlam one, just the simple basic stuff of it being a skinny micro tip pencil, it does a really good job of creating those just nice defined hairlines, and I just like the way that it fills everything in. So yes, very much been enjoying those. All right, and then we used one more brow product today. I know it's a lot. I'm not great at brows, but I use a lot of products on them. we have a tinted brow gel. And I had two of them initially intended for this video. And the first one I wanted to mention was the LA Colors one. But when I went to open it, it was actually dried out. And I was really sad because that was one that I actually really enjoyed. I guess I just hadn't picked it up for a little bit here and it dried out, which is, yeah, very sad. So I had to throw that one out, but I very much enjoyed that one. It didn't change the color of the brows underneath. Sometimes when you use a tinted brow gel, especially fiber ones, I think it tends to kind of shift and darken the brow color, and that's not always something I'm looking for. But the other one that I've also really been enjoying is the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. Very similar to the LA Girls one where it just doesn't change the shade of the brows. It just does a slight little tint, and I think it just does a really good job to kind of redefine some of those hairs after you've kind of colored in with your pencil. You can just kind of recomb through things real quick and try to redefine everything and keep everything looking nice and fluffy. So very much been enjoying the Essence one. So next, let's go ahead and talk about bronzer. The first one I'm going to mention here is the Hard Candy Just Glow Matte Bronzer. And I mean, this has just been, I don't know, I've really been enjoying this one. It gives a nice like warmth to the face. It's very easy to work with. It doesn't apply too punchy or anything like that. And it's just, you put a little bit on, you blend it where you need to, and it does just a really good job of bringing a little bit more warmth back to the face. So this specific one I've had a lot of fun with. And then the one that we used today was the Believe Beauty. This one here, it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, which is a surprising thing because oftentimes in bronzers, that's not something that I want. But something about this one here, the way that it looks on the face, again, just like the warmth that it provides with that little bit of like shimmer, I guess, just looks so nice. So very much been enjoying this one. Honestly, oftentimes I'll take something like the Hard Candy one or the Amuse bronzer and put this kind of just slightly over top to bring a little bit of that through. And it's been really pretty. But this is the one we used today, and I really love the way that it looks on the face. And then we have blushes. Now the first one I want to mention here is the Santé, I can't remember how to pronounce it, Santé blusher. And this one is in the shade 05 Bliss. And this is kind of that coral shade. This is probably one of the first coral shades I got. And I have loved, especially in the summer, using this. Like if you want to do like a faux freckle type of look and then put this shade over top, it is so fun and it is so pretty. So I very much have been using this one. Again, not as often recently with it being a little colder, but sometimes I'll take a little bit of it and then put something over top just to, I don't know, use it because I very much have enjoyed it. So yeah, that one has been definitely something I've enjoyed in my collection. And then the next one, I actually used two blushes today. I did a little bit of layering. The first one that we used was the Hard Candy Just Glow Silk Blush. This one is in the shade Cheek Me Out. And it's kind of got that coralness to it as well, but it's a little warm for like kind of like the colder seasons and things like that. With a shade like this, after I've applied bronzer, I'll sometimes even still use the same bronzing brush and kind of have that mix with it to make things even a little bit more warm and apply this to the face. It just looks so pretty. And this is definitely a pretty pigmented blush. So for today, I kind of just went dot, dot, and just put the pigment down. And then with a little on my brush, I took my time to really blend that because it can be really soft if you're nice and gentle and careful with it, but you can also really build up the pigment to it, which is very cool. And the one that we put over top was the Essence The Blush. And the thing about this one is just it's a very comfortable blush shade for me. This is kind of like a very easy everyday go-to blush color for me. So I wanted to add this just a little bit just to kind of bring that familiar color back into the cheeks. So I just applied a little bit of that over top of the Hard Candy blush today. But yeah, I've very much been enjoying this one. I grab for this one quite often just because it is just kind of that go-to color for me. And then let's talk about highlighter. So the first highlighter I want to bring up is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlight Powder. This is amazing. And honestly, like, I don't use this as much as I should. I remember when I first got it, I was using it so often, but I also just have so many highlighters that I try to like rotate through, but they don't compare. This is such a good highlighter. It's beaming, but it also just looks so beautiful on the face. It works with just so many looks, and it's beautiful. So I didn't use this one today because I have another one that's also very much shocked me. But this one is just such a good everyday type of highlighter, and everybody should have this. It's so good. And the one that we used on our face today was the Makeup Obsession Mega Lightening Highlighter. This right here. I remember using this in the Makeup Obsessions video and just being so surprised when I first put it on, how blinding and beautiful it is. Don't know if you can see it. I definitely try to go nice and gentle with it because it can be pretty beaming, but man, there's something about this one that just looks so beautiful on the face, and I grabbed for this one. Even though, again, I have so many highlighters, this is one I kind of always just like, well, let's just use that one again, because I just very much do enjoy this highlighter. It is amazing. And then what we did today is we took one of our small Morphe brushes, and we just grabbed just on that gold streak there, and that's what we used in the inner corner highlight today, just to kind of keep that gold yellow going on, and that looks so cool. That was something I sort of recently I tried out. I was like, I wonder if I can just get that specific gold color, and I did, and I put it on the inner corner. I was like, oh, that's fun. That is a fun thing. Instead of using like the typical lighter colors for an inner corner, just focusing it on that gold, and it looked at the time, it looks so amazing on the eye. And then I also, just for fun, cleaned off that brush and just went into on the lighter part of the highlight here and added just a little bit right in that kind of the crease right there of the eye. I'm really not sure how well my camera will pick it up. You can see it there a little bit. And that's not something I do very often, but I've been doing it a little bit more recently, and I think it looks so cool. And especially with this highlighter here, I just love the way it reflects right in that area there. So yeah, using that lighter one there, but then also taking this gold down here. So fun. So I've had a lot of fun with this highlighter. I've gotten so much use out of it. I've loved it. All right, let's go on to the lips here next. So for the lips, let's start with She Glam. So this right here is a beautiful, very toned lip liner, and I've very much enjoyed it. The thing about this lip liner, for one, the packaging is beautiful. Just kind of like this beautiful, soft, matte pink. Love it. The consistency of the liner is so nice. You apply it, and it just feels so nice and so creamy on the lips. Oftentimes, if you guys watch my brand new face videos, I always mention that my lips are so dry. Even if I put something on prior to recording, it gets absorbed because my lips are so dry. But this does such a good job of like not emphasizing the dryness on my lips, which I think is really cool. So this specific shade is beautiful, and the way that it just sits and it looks on the lips is beautiful as well. Another one that I very much enjoy is the Essence Stay 8-Hour Lip Liner. Now this one, the feeling on the lips is not as great as the She Glam one and the one that I'm about to mention here, but this is kind of one of those like your lips but better types of shades, but it's just kind of just a little deeper. And I very much have enjoyed it. I like taking this shade here called O2 Tea Time, taking this on the lips and just either leaving it there or just using a little bit of a gloss over top to kind of keep things a little bit more natural, but still put something on the lips. So I very much have been enjoying this for that. And then the next one, very similar to that, kind of that Your Lips But Better. I have very much enjoyed the Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner. Again, this one does a really good job of not emphasizing the dryness on my lips, and it also does the whole Your Lips But Better. This one is a little bit more of like, I think coral is the right word, or pinky, compared to the other one being a little bit more of like a deepy brown. This one has a little bit more pinky coralness to it. But yeah, I remember applying this for the first time and just being like, oh wow, it looks so similar, but just like so similar to my lips, but just that little shift. And I think it is beautiful. And again, I do a very similar thing with this one where it's like, I'll apply it and line and fill the lips with it, and then just take just a little bit of gloss over top of it and just wear it out that way, because it just looks like my lips, but just a little bit better. So this has been a liner I have very much enjoyed. All right, and let's talk about the other lip products. Now I noticed, and now that I'm calling it out, you guys will recognize it as well, but I bet if I didn't say anything, you guys wouldn't notice it. But I put together both like my liquid lipsticks in kind of one picture and then my bullet lipsticks in another one, except for I put down one of them, which I'll mention here later. But I'll quickly mention the liquid ones. The ones that are in the picture I did not pull. I honestly have not been using a lot of those liquid lips recently. When preparing these videos, I was very much more of a liquid lip person. I thought that they were easier, less messy, and easier to travel with. I don't know. I don't think that's true anymore, but very much have started to shift a little bit more into your typical bullet lipsticks. So I didn't pull any of those that are pictured, but I did pull a couple of the bullet lipsticks and the mispictured one. And the first one I will talk about is the Essence Semi Matte Lipstick. And this one is, oh, it's just so pretty. It's a beautiful nude, this beautiful light nude. I don't know what else to really say on it. I've worn it a couple times and have very much liked it. Not like as much as the lips that I'm wearing today, but it is just so beautiful on the lips, and I like the semi-matte finish that it has. Yeah, I very much have been liking that. The next lip bullets I want to mention are the She Glam ones here, but they've got these beautiful little gold glitter flecks in them, and it looks so cool and it looks so fun on the lips. I have two shades. I have the Beach Babe and the Heartbreak shade, and both of them have those gold little flecks in them, and they both just look so beautiful and they're so fun on the lips. So I've very much been enjoying these bullet lips. And the last product, the one that we used on our lips here today, that was mispictured, was the Hard Candy Syrup Kiss Lip Stain. So this one's not, I mean, it's kind of like a liquid lip, but it's probably more like a lip gloss if you really think about it, but it still has beautiful pigment to it, and it just makes the lips look very juicy. It is starting to settle down here a little bit, but you can still sort of see that sheen to it. But I have been loving using this with a liner, without a liner. If I layer up 3 things of liner, bullet lipstick, and then top it off with this, it looks so juicy on the lips and beautiful, and I've just loved it so much. I've gotten a lot of use out of this. Now we're coming to the end here. Now we are into our setting sprays. Now I pulled 3 setting sprays, and the first one that I want to mention here is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist Set. For today's look, I just used it to kind of deepen up the yellow shade, just to help make that sit on the eyes really nicely and really bring that yellow shade out. But I use this on the face all of the time, and it does such a good job of locking your makeup in. Similar to like the powder, I guess, like it just does its job. There's nothing too crazy about it where it's just like, oh, is it mattifying? Is it loomy? It just sets your face, and that's all it needs to do. And I've very much enjoyed it. So yes, this is amazing. And then today when we actually set the face, we used 2. That's something I do honestly very often. And the first one that we used was the Makeup Obsessions Dewy Fix Spray. And yeah, it does what it says, is you spray it all over and it gives your face this beautiful dewiness. So I love layering this on to kind of bring a little moisture back to the face in case things have dried out from powders or anything like that, or if you're just really going for that dewy look. I have very much been enjoying this. And then over top of that, we used the Believe Beauty Makeup Perfecting Setting Spray. And similar to the e.l.f. one, this one just does its job. It's not specific on like if it's mattifying or anything like that. It just does its job, and the mister on it is so smooth, so nice. You get hardly any little droplets on your face. The one thing about this one is if you spray a lot and you're talking, it doesn't taste good and it sits funny in the throat. Just something to keep in mind that for me especially, I sit there and I douse it everywhere, and I have to give it a minute to like dissipate, I think is the right word, before I can actually start talking, else I'm gonna breathe it in and it's just, oh, it's a coughing mess. But I've very much been enjoying that. And that's everything. That is all of the products that I have been enjoying, and I hope this video is helpful for you guys. You guys should definitely, if you're curious about any of these products, go check them out because I have been loving them. I've very much been loving them. And yeah, that's gonna be everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video. Let me know if you want me to do a couple of these as we kind of get to a point with these brand new face videos. If you want me to kind of follow up on a category, the products that I'm still continuing to use, because this was a lot of fun to do and I would love to do that if you guys are curious about it. So let me know in the comments down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you guys can be notified of the next time that I post. And that's gonna be everything for this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.